how I describe myself, obviously, but that's what was going on. And then by the end of the night, when all these kids were attacked, I feel like the world got turned upside down in a lot of ways for them, and I feel like one positive thing that might come out here is that a few hundred 18, 19-year-old kids really got a new perspective and a more accurate perspective on who gives a shit about them.
First exposure to that fact that the government is really there to protect you.
Yeah.
You're not part of the elite class that benefits from the government. That's part of what our protests around the G-20 are all about. They're not accountable, and they're the ones that benefit. Absolutely. Not the people who are out here on the streets. And no one here benefits from the G-20, even though they claim to represent us. They're completely unaccountable.
The cops get time and a half, but that's still not enough to put the kids through college. So
What the media wants you to believe about anarchists is that they want anarchy in the sense that it means chaos, you know? And there were certainly people setting things on fire yesterday and turning dumpsters over, but what anarchy is really about isn't complete chaos. Anarchy isn't about chaos. It's about three things: voluntary association, mutual aid, and direct democracy. And we're not getting any of those things from the government of the United States or from any of the world governments that are here representing the G-20. Voluntary association means if I live in California and my president lives in Washington, D.C., and I was just born into this world, I don't get a choice about who's my king, who's my master. I'm just expected to be all right with all of this. All of these decisions that are made on someone who doesn't know me, never met me. It's not about community. It's just about who benefits from the oppression. Mutual aid means all of those street medics who were out there yesterday, they're the most badass people ever. The street medics, the ACLU, legal observers, all of those people, seeds of peace. The fellows in the school buses who are feeding the protesters. There are a lot of people out there who believe in solidarity, even if they're not anarchists, even if they're not hardliners.
1 minute left. All I want to know is, like, so do you don't think it's that effective? Why protest?
Well, you know, I think Pittsburgh has kind of been kicked around by capitalism for most of its life as a city. It's had its ups and downs, but the whole time it's either been in an upswing thanks to capitalism or in a downswing thanks to capitalism. And right now, I think it's pretty thoughtless to hold, you know, a capitalist organizational blueprint meeting here, of all places. And a lot of the radicals from Pittsburgh and from elsewhere are learning from this. Certainly, it's not as articulate and not as well organized as the stuff that was going on in London recently, but I think that's a different world. They have the whole class war thing going on. We have a vast middle class here in the United States that isn't as active on the streets.
also the belief from the upper class and the lower class that they are middle class. And the idea that you're not part of the working class and you're not part of the ruling class, but you're just an American, kind of diverts attention.
That's part of the problem, is complacency.
Yes.
You know, people feel helpless because that's actually a tactic used by the government and by the riot cops and by everyone. They obviously outnumber us, and they obviously have the technology. I'd also like to point out that we made history yesterday because we're the first civilian demonstration on which the LRAD technology was used, which is that thing that looks like a satellite dish. Up to this point, it's been used almost primarily in war zones. What it does is it has a sort of a volume knob that goes a spectrum from.
Well, and thank you.
Well, but you know about the LRAD, right?
I know, the LRAD. You can tell us, but it's not recording.
Yesterday, it wasn't making you shit your pants, but
it's the sound weapon.
What does it do? I heard it makes you throw up.
It could. They didn't turn it up that high yesterday.
Does it give you headaches or something, or is it like?
Yeah, it give you headaches at high enough volume. It also damage your hearing.
Yeah.
Is that legal to use?
It's
As like
well,
a
the
cargo
thing was
ship.
that
What
because
happened
they
yesterday
put
that
out-
was legal?
Yeah.
I saw a guy get arrested for
What the cops
laughing.
done that was legal so far?
Did you see the girl on the bike?
Yeah.
Pushing it?
Yeah.
Isn't like it's like this big, almost like dish, and they send kind of like a sound wave out of it.
The one advantage of the LRAD tactically for the demonstrators is that it's directional. So if you're off to the side of it, it's still very loud. But you just have to make sure that you're not directly in its tone, you know. And if you're directly in its tone, which I was a couple times, it's actually like it affects your eardrums. It's really painful, and it makes you kind of like hold your ears.
Yeah.
But when you're off to the side, it's still very loud, but you can still function.
Yeah.
What could I put an X or something?
But yeah, that's primarily been used by the military in war zones.
First time they used that on USS.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's newsworthy every time new technology is used to oppress the people. You know?
And then last night they were trapping people. They were telling people to disperse. They were not letting people disperse.
They were telling people to go back to their dorms and then walking off the dorms. I
Yeah.
don't go to college, but
That's what happened in my dorm. They locked the doors and people were running back and the riot police were almost right at them. Thankfully, someone opened the door for them.
yeah, it's sure been a learning experience. Like I said, it wasn't as vast as it could be. You know, like not as many people were mobilized as could have been.
Yeah,
but I think in a way, even though this wasn't as impressive as a lot of people wanted, it kind of raised the stakes for activism in the future, especially in this city. I mean, even after the G-20 is over and things chill out.
Where? Here?
Right here.
That was,
Just
that
like a
was-
fight your face city. That's your signature. That's what you're telling me you are. Now we're just getting warmed up here, but I was like, all right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thank you, Vincent. No, you went nicely, but I couldn't hear it.